So I'm going to cheat here. Some of these you can actually just do the regular limit and like manipulate it and do it that way. But I notice that these are the definitions of the derivative, right? So the top one uses this definition of the derivative. It takes the limit as x approaches a, or in this case, well, we'll just say a. And then we have our slope function over here, which is x minus a, and then f of x minus f of a. Okay? The other one is the one that uses the h. So we have the limit as h approaches 0. At this time, the bottom is h, because h represents this guy, the difference, the horizontal change. And on the top, we're going to go f of x plus h minus f of x. Now, I could, if I wanted to, instead of having these x's right here, I could plug in the a, which is this guy right here. Okay, so keeping these in mind, now I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at this and I'm going, what is the f? What is f? How do you define him? And what is the a? So, let's see. If I'm looking at this one, the f would equal, what would my f equal? Remember, the first part, we're only plugging x in. The second part, we're plugging the a in. So, because they simplified it, we're not going to see like what it looks like when they plug in the a. But over here, there's plugging in x. Oh, look, isn't that f of x? Yeah. So f of x is x to the 1/3, which is the same as the third root of x. I just like writing it like this because I like using the power rule. And then the a. What is my a? Hey, isn't the bottom just subtracting the a? Oh, yeah, Oh, look, and we're approaching a. It has a lot of different ways to show us that. And so the a is 8. And so does that make sense that this is a 2? Yeah. Because when you plug 8 into the f, if I plug 8 into this, wouldn't that give me 2? Because the third root of 8 is 2, right? So the question is, what is the derivative of this with 8 plugged in? So you want to find f prime of 8. That's what your goal is. So if I do that, it would be, let's find f prime first. So we have f prime of x. This would be 1/3 x raised to negative 2/3. Is everybody cool with what I just did so far? Yeah. Okay. So I can write this differently. Just if I don't want to have a negative exponent, I could write like this. Okay, and then I would plug in the 8. So if I plug in 8 to this, what would happen? We have 1/3 times 8 raised to the 2/3. What do you want to do? You guys want to do the root first, which is 3, or do you guys want to do the power first? I usually try to do the root first because it makes my life easier. What is the third root of 8? It is 2. So now it's 2 raised to the second power. The third root is gone. Now what?
No, it's the third root of 16.
The third root of 8 is 2. And what is 2 raised to the second power? It is 4. And what is 4 times 3? 12. Wow. So we can do the power first or the root first. If you did the power first, then you would go 8 to the second power, which would be 64. And then you would find the third root of 64, which equals 4. So you see, you get the same thing either way. It's kind of rad. I know. No, it's not rad. That's crazy. All right. Yeah, you can say it however you want, weirdo. All right. So next, let's look at this one. This one says that we're plugging in x plus h. Now remember, we could say a instead of x. And so that means we could plug a number in right here. Right here also. Okay, which is what they did over here. See, they plugged in a, they got 1/2. Oh, well, that doesn't tell me what the function is, but the other one might. See, let's see if we can find out what f of x is just by looking at this. I wonder what f of x is. Oh, look, there's an a plus h inside a cosine. It must be cosine. So I write cosine. So I am kind of cheating here, right? I'm just saying, I know what this looks like. This is the definition of derivative, right? Right. And so I'm going to find my function, and I'm just going to take the derivative of that thing. What is the derivative of cosine x? Negative sine x. Yay. My life is so much happier now. What is a? Where are we taking this derivative at? Pi/3. Hey, that makes sense because sine of cosine, isn't that 1/2? Or I'm sorry, not sine of cosine, silly goose. Cosine of pi/3. Cosine of pi/3, isn't that 1/2? Yes, it is. So now I go f prime is negative sine x, and I plug in pi/3 to that. So I get f prime pi/3. Everything is so much happier now because I can totally do that. Do you guys know what sine of pi over 3 is? Red 3 over 2. And then we have our negative out in front. We got our answer.